What is going on, guys? We are back with another rebuild on Madden 23, and today it is, well, finally, the Carolina Panthers. I would say I'm glad I waited because Adam Thielen's on the team, but unlike him and his kind of crazy thoughts, I do not think this is a Super Bowl roster just yet. Obviously, we know the whole kind of off-season trend. Besides, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, when is that going to happen? Is he going to be 45 by the time it happens? Who knows? But besides that, it has been the obvious blockbuster trade between the Panthers and the Bears, resulting in quite a bit of capital and DJ Moore to the Bears, and the Panthers getting a quarterback when they're not necessarily ready. I will say, if you only look at a Madden kind of view of the Panthers roster, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, maybe they're not ready. But if you actually look into each of these players, they actually have a lot of talent. Shenault has plenty of talent. Terrace Marshall has plenty of talent. Thielen still has a little bit left in the tank. I mean, when it comes down to it, is he going to be the guy that pushes him over the edge for the Super Bowl? Probably not. Hubbard's solid. They just need to get these guys playing a full season and with a franchise quarterback, which is obviously what the Panthers see. So as much as I hated it early on, I still kind of hate it a little bit. Maybe just wait for a quarterback. I don't know. They're not actually as bad as you would think. The offensive line is actually not bad at all. Tight end, you got Hayden Hurst, who, when he's healthy, is pretty decent, but is he, ever fully healthy? They have Ian Thomas, who's a bit expensive as well, so they paid a lot for some tight ends that are, kind of average, slightly above average. Defensively, you definitely need some work. The cornerbacks, outside of J.C. Horn, they haven't played great. I will say, Derek Brown, just like pretty much every year 2/3 DT this year, apparently gods. How many players that were like, are they, aren't they, have turned into really good players this season at that DT spot? I signed Rashaan Evans to a 2-year 13, so that's why you're like, what do you mean? We got Rashaan Evans? Sorry, Panthers fans. This is not the case, okay? But that's what we're looking at. Luvu's underrated. Shaq Thompson is a guy that's just been here forever. He's decent. Chin, you would like to see more, and then Woods has been pretty much like an average to slightly above average player pretty much his whole career. It's a team that needs some work. Brian Burns, I would say, was probably the main talking point besides pick 9 with the Bears and the Panthers. They probably just said, nah. You can have our wide receiver, I guess, but you're not taking our edge rusher. I wonder what that would have been like. Would they have given up, I would say probably pick 1, Burns, and a second instead of the second and the other first? Because, you would probably see that, right? I feel like that's probably how that would go. But regardless, as much as I talk about how, they have a lot of potential with guys in real life, a Madden standpoint is completely different because guys like Marshall and Shenault, I don't know if they're going to develop. 24-year-old, 75 overall wide receiver isn't really the greatest to work with. Chuba Hubbard's a 24-year-old, 75 overall normal running back. Don't know how he's going to play in sim, but like I said, these guys in real life, they're not bad. They're definitely not bad. It's just in-game, a little different. Hayden Hurst is a 30-year-old normal dev tight end. That's GG. That's already gone. So, yeah, it's going to be a mix of real life and in-game moves, obviously. Can't just go, what do you mean? They just paid Hayden Hurst 3-year 22. Why would they go tight end? It's like, I don't care what they would do. I can't use this guy. He's a corpse. Just like you can claim your Marcus Peters, maybe claim the like button and subscribe. I don't know. I saw that card and I was like, well, there's that video. Get back to that thing. But here we are at pick number 1. Finally, we're going to have a quarterback at number 1 instead of the game just taking, an edge that they don't need. I still really don't know why they reach so hard every time, though. It's Miles Murphy almost every time, isn't it? Which is kind of crazy. I don't know what his dev is. Probably Superstar Plus, because why would they go over even Tyree Wilson if not? But obviously there's been so many different people, like, is it Stroud? Is it Bryce Young? I've seen some people get crazy and say it's Anthony Richardson. One person I really haven't seen is Levis, but if the Panthers trade up to 1, sure, it could work out. If the Panthers traded up to 1 for Anthony Richardson, man, that would be a decision. Of course, Bryce Young, 6 foot tall. I think if Bryce Young's 6 foot tall, they absolutely take him. Problem is, he's not 6 foot tall. He seems to be shrinking by an inch every month. So, honestly, I think the safest bet is probably Stroud. I know the Ohio State quarterbacks, but for one, Justin Fields, crap on him all you want. There's a lot of there's potential there. There's a lot of hype there, and I think there's a good reason for it. It's kind of crazy as a Packers fan. Fourth in the division, maybe, who knows? But I think to be safe, it's probably going to be Stroud. Would you maybe trade back to the Texans, recoup some picks, and let them take whoever, and then it's your choice? I don't know, dude. You would look like, not that it probably wouldn't matter at that point. You'd probably be out as a regime in general if a couple of years down the line your quarterback's the wrong choice. But could you imagine going to 1? It's like, oh, wow, they overtraded a little bit here to get to 1. Then you trade down, you get the wrong guy because the other team takes the guy, especially if it's Stroud, and that was the guy that a lot of people projected you to get. But I think we're going to play it safe, and we're going to take, man, I've seen a lot of links for Bryce Young, and pretty much everyone's rebuild has Stroud as the QB. Yeah, I'm going to take Stroud. There's a reason. It's the prototypical size that does it. You got to just play it safe, especially if you're going to go all the way to pick 1. You can't be taking risks, in my opinion. Obviously, there's a risk with every pick, but as far as, like, can someone overcome the height deficit, that's such a huge risk, man. And as much as this team can trade up, I'm going to go, wow, that would be a busted move. But I'm going to go to pick 1 here in the second round, and if there's anyone to trade up for, maybe we do it, but can't go higher than that. And Quentin Johnson, highly doubt he'll be here at 32. Highly doubt it. What is this class? Like, recently I did a rebuild for the Vikings, I think, where JSN was gone, like, well before then, who I really wanted for them. Well, as a Packers fan, no. But I really wanted for him in that rebuild. I don't think either would be there at 32/33. That is crazy, though. Quentin Johnston, man. I don't know, dude. There's no way he's here at 1 in the freaking second round. So we trade 41, 126, and a 5th next year for 33, and it is not going to be for Quentin Johnston just because it's just not going to happen, dude. I'm sorry. I really would love to grab him. It would be so big for this team, but I actually think we're going to be going for the offensive line. Even if you say that the weapons aren't good enough, at least if you have a really good offensive line to protect your quarterback, you know, that's almost just as good, right? Steve Avila, a guy that probably won't be here either, but at least there's a better chance of it than Quentin Johnson being here at 33. I'm going to take him at some point. I'm going to have to take someone. You know, if nobody is able to be grabbed, then who the hell am I going to draft? Our next pick is in the 3rd round. Yikes. What is going on here? JSN and Quentin Johnson are still here while guys like Josh Downs already went. Hello? Really? The Raiders going to land one of these guys? They do. How is this even fair? They're still there. Like, really? I really do want a wide receiver, but like my highest projected guy would be like A.T. Perry, which, you know, they kind of got Terrace Marshall, so maybe not as fast as Perry, but kind of already got that in a way. Yeah, this is a really weird class. I like Cansey's still here. Usually he's like a mid-second. Super athletic, obviously. I don't think people are gonna fall for the hype. I don't know if he's gonna be a first rounder, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a 3rd rounder either. So I really wanted Garrett Williams, and instead we're gonna be going for DJ Turner, 94 this and 163 next year. Roy also went, which, you know, would have loved to have another Roy. But yeah, I think we're going to be going with cornerback DJ Turner, which ironically enough reminds me a lot of Dante Jackson here. Ted M would be interesting, but those are really late projections anyways. And as far as O-line goes, we definitely could use a center. But, I mean, other than center, our offensive line is actually pretty much set. Tyler Davis might be the guy we take in the 4th if he's theirs. DT is definitely a need of ours. I suppose. How old is Terrell Smith? We kind of like... Yeah, he's also 22, so... I guess DJ Turner is going to be our choice. Super fast, obviously, and I wanted Garrett Williams the most because he was the youngest, but DJ Turner it is. 98 speed, 97 excel. The burners. And Tyler Davis is not in this draft class, which makes me sad. DT has been neglected, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we go with the proven hidden development trait, Tyler Steen. Maybe not the best scheme fit in the world, but maybe not even scheme fit, but needs fit, if you will. But best available player on the board for us, besides Zier, who is even further from what we need. We trade Brady Christensen and a 5th-round draft pick to the Bengals for a 4th, which will finish our draft class with a linebacker. I think I'm going to go with Herbig, unless I missed him and he's gone. Just making sure. Did have a couple of other linebacker options. But yeah, I think Herbig is going to be the guy, so welcome to the squad. Don't really know if we have much of a spot for him, though. I suppose Rashaan Evans hasn't been, like, the most solid starter in the world, so even if we paid him quote-unquote starter money, doesn't actually have to start, so more just a depth pick. We'll start Herbig if we feel like that's the best option, which because of age, I think it's safe to say it's going to be the best option. But let's take a look at the overalls. And again, we don't usually have an option to grab one of these quarterbacks. I don't always remember their overalls. 76, that's kind of what I thought. I thought 76, 77, so fair enough. 74, 72, 72, 72. Bunch of 72s. Kind of curious to see, like, Garrett Wilson's overall and all that. They were second-round picks. No, they were third, actually. Should have went A.T. Perry, in fairness, but I just think that this team actually is very comfortable with their wide receiving group. Brents, is he normal as well? He is also normal. He would have been up there for me as well, but I think it was between Garrett Williams and DJ Turner for me. Garrett Williams, I think, is also normal, in fairness. He's hidden. Oof. Of course, you get a quick dev up. It doesn't really matter anyways. All right, so the Season 1 team. Offensive line looks a little better. Tight end, we could have worked on, but once again, the value wasn't there, and Hayden Hurst did get the 3-year, 20-whatever mil. Wide receivers, as far as in-game goes, we might be screwed, but I wanted to give them at least one season to try and prove themselves, whereas, like I said, in real life, I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe they add another talent, and I should have added somebody, but yeah, they're definitely going to give those guys a real run, especially with Thielen on the roster now. Hubbard, be nice to add some more depth, but I felt like there was other needs that we needed to address first, including cornerback, and I know you're thinking, well, what do you mean? You know, Horn, Dante Jackson, and, you know, CJ Henderson is just not him. Dante Jackson has slowly gotten worse each season, and Horn, we got to see if he can stay fully healthy. DJ Turner, young Jackson, basically. Maybe even starts next season for him. It wasn't a high draft pick anyways, a super late third. DT definitely would have been nice to get, and then Herbig is the new middle linebacker 1. See how well he moves around. But yeah, definitely more players we need to work on, which is kind of not a usual thing for us. You know, normally we have, even if they're not the greatest of overalls, pretty much the starter set by Season 1-ish, right? And we still probably need a free safety. We still need a DT, might need a right end, might need 2 new linebackers. Running back could be replaced, wide receivers, tight end. But a lot of the core guys, like O-line, we probably won't have to replace for the entirety of this thing. Quarterback, obviously, we won't have to replace. And then, you know, DT, cornerback 1. A couple of positions that we won't have to worry about. So some good, some bad. Considering this team traded so much away, I think it's fair. Also, I don't remember what Stroud's dev is. Probably star, though. So far, it's been a 50-50 season. And, you know, I've seen the way the Panthers play in Sim, so I have not changed their playbooks at all. I want the juice. As far as Brian Burns goes, though, I actually haven't seen how well he's playing. It's, you know, kind of sucky to get rid of a guy as good as him in game. But, man, in real life, it's just like, I want to see it. You know, I want to fully see it. So, you know, I want to see the season be great, and he looks pretty good. So let's have a 5-year 105, which even then is pretty much on the low side. Jeremy Chin will get a contract because I obviously love him in the game. And let's just make it a 5-year 50 even. And even that wasn't enough. I was going to give him a 5-year 45. Luvu is interesting because he is actually kind of invaluable to this team the way they play him. So, ooh, he's playing really poorly, though. With that being said, I might have to let him go. Like, I actually have him playing probably more roles. I have him as high on the sub linebacker list and then on the left out with their scheme, which, of course, rushes them as if it was still Hassan Reddick. So, you know, that's pretty low for those numbers. Yatir Gross-Matos is gone with the draft edge. And then CJ Henderson, like I said, he's just not the future guy here. And, yeah, I mean, Chenault, I don't know how he's playing, but I would love to give him a contract if we can. And then Shaq Thompson, I wouldn't want to do more than 2 years. So a 2-year 33, fair enough. Was that an overpayment? 2-year 33 is kind of high, but it seemed like that was what the number was, no? But Chenault, let's take a look at how well he's playing. See if he's worth the money or not. 702 with 3 touchdowns. Definitely an uptick. So let's give him like a 3-year 17. I think that's probably fair. But yeah, pretty much paid everyone we needed to pay, and anyone that we aren't paying, we could definitely do better on anyways. It was a pretty good season, but these losses here near the end are going to be, the deficit. Oh, we're still in. I was about to say the reason why we don't make it, but I guess we're still in the playoffs. We definitely must have been like the last team to make it in, right? Like it's, 8 and 9. I mean, the NFC's kind of weak, but 8 and 9 is good enough for the playoffs, I guess. Which honestly, I don't really think that we should consider that a win. To be honest, that's kind of a loss, as you can see. I mean, we actually had a pretty good year, and then lost a bunch at the end, and still made it. We lost 4 out of the last 5, made the playoffs. Like I said, I don't know if you want to consider that a win or not. CJ Stroud, not great numbers, to be honest. Hubbard wasn't good. A lot of touchdowns, but yards per carry were awful. Top 2 wide receivers are decent. I will say if I was going to have any wide receiver be the best out of the bunch, it would be Terrace Marshall. So the fact that he wasn't Hurts. Speaking of Hurst, decent season. Obviously, Hubbard, decent receiving game. If we can get a running back that's like top tier in free agency, I think you got to pay him. I think this scheme could be really good if you have one of those running backs like a Christian McCaffrey type. Just some sort of like dual style threat guy, or else maybe you do need to change the scheme. I don't know. They filter a lot through the running back, and we don't really have that type of back right now. So, yeah, I don't know. Unless we go for like a really good running back in the draft or free agency, that may be out of the realm. And honestly, these rebuilds kind of have been really long lately, and I don't expect to win. So I'm just going to sim for this first season. And we do win the first one, actually. Going against Dallas now. We win against Dallas. Going against San Fran. We win against San Fran to the Super Bowl. What does this even mean, dude? Show you guys that we didn't, force any wins or anything like that. Be pretty hard to do that, but wow. Okay, I mean, something would tell you maybe you just simulate this one as well, but let's go in. I really don't know what kind of rebuild this is, if we're making the Super Bowl, maybe even winning it in year 1. But it sure is something. maybe Adam Thielen's onto something here. Panthers playbook's kind of broken, apparently. But here we go with the Chiefs scoring 7 out the gate. We bounce back with 7, though. Defense makes a stop. I don't know what's happening so far. 21-7. 28-7 at halftime. Panthers over the Chiefs. 28-10. 35-10. 38-17. And the Carolina Panthers are Super Bowl champions. All right, yeah, NFL Films better get on. They need more than one freaking cameraman for NFL Film. They need about 50 of them for this run. What the hell just happened? All of that bad luck we've had. Why didn't I just show the freaking... I should have showed the trophy ceremony, but all the bad luck we've had in rebuilds have just filtered into this insane win. Now, I will admit, like we said, we've seen the Panthers do really well lately, which is why I don't want to change the scheme at all. Change it as you need it. Is Burns with an interception. Insane season. Okay, I guess we're going to try to become a dynasty with the Panthers. What? Like, I don't even get it. Like, I could see if, right, like the Panthers playbooks actually were busted, right? Like, they were actually putting up insane numbers. But these numbers are pretty average at best, right? 3.2 yards per carry, just over 1,000 yards. Total touchdowns of like 20-ish on the ground, 29 passing with 12 interceptions. I mean, these are all very average numbers. Tackles are average. Sacks are probably below average. Interceptions are about average. I'm not really sure what makes this playbook or even this season in general super special. I guess the O-line, considering their overalls were lower, sacks totals than expected. But, I mean, I don't really get it. This is the positive side of how bad the coding is. Finally, it's, in our favor, if you will. We just won the Super Bowl year 1 with the Panthers. Like, once again, I did mention how many, Panthers rebuilds have been gone up lately. on YouTube. I haven't actually watched many of them, though, so I don't know if this is a common thing, but I will say, like I said, even when they haven't taken QB, we've seen the Panthers in it. They've been in the Super Bowl a lot in our rebuilds. I guess they're just that team. They're the next ones up. Also, forgot to take a look at DevUps, if we even had it. I actually didn't pay attention to Stroud if he won Rookie of the Year. Doubt he would have, though. But, no DevUps for the offensive side of things. Defensive side of things, no DevUps there either. Not even Herbig. So, in a way, even though it's a Super Bowl year, it was like a wasted year. I don't even know what's happening anymore, to be honest. But I guess we're going for the dynasty. Why not? We're trying to win another Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons. I mean, I guess it's a 3-year rebuild max. You can't really top a Super Bowl, so will give us another 2 years to maybe have another one at least, equalize it, make it the best team, I guess. But yeah, that's interesting. We got 85 mil though, and we're getting rid of some players that definitely need to be replaced. Luvu really didn't have a good season. Normally I see Luvu do well. He was awful for us, yet here we are, champions. Guess leave a like and subscribe. I don't even know. Actually, I didn't take a look at Hubbard. Derrick Henry doesn't really fit the scheme, to be honest, but have heard a lot of rumblings. About Derrick Henry playing for a new team. Yeah, Hubbard, he can't be the guy, dude. We need a new running back. But once again, Derrick Henry does not fit the scheme at all. Like, we need a guy that can actually go out there and catch a ball or two. Is there someone like that? Cam Akers, if he was healthy, but not always the most healthy. DeAndre Swift could be interesting, but he's always bad in sim. I'm interested in some players here, but don't know if Derrick Henry's the guy. Like I said, he's amazing. He's really good. He put up insane numbers for us, but as far as receiving goes, not really his game. What are actually his ratings for receiving, though? If it's decent, 66 catch, man. That's just... But then again, it's very similar to Akers, and that's the best option is besides him is Akers. I suppose this team likes to run the ball, so I'm going to go for Derrick Henry. Why not? We'll make it work. You get a talent like him, and you have money, and you need the position, you just go for him. T. Higgins, these kind of wide receivers have been toted around quite a bit, but usually they're trade pieces. But, T. Higgins goes to free agency. What can I tell you? T. Higgins is a target of ours, 4 for 84. If he wants to join, I'm about it. And we ended up getting all 4 of the players I went. So a lot of money here, but Derrick Henry, long-term starter. T. Higgins, long-term starter. Clowney, just a 1-year guy, while we figure out that edge position. And then Dantzler, our new free safety, pretty slow, but very good zone coverage. Very good. 87 to be exact. I like it. Tackling's not the worst either, so he's our new free safety. And I'm doing the right thing here. I'm going to give the Bengals pick 64 for their 7th. Once again, we've seen the way the wide receivers work in this league. Anyone that's halfway decent, and Higgins is much more than halfway decent, doesn't go to free agency now. They get tagged, they get traded before they get tagged, they get traded while they're on contract. The value is immense, unlike running back, which I forgot to mention in the beginning. I don't know what the Panthers are thinking on not keeping Deontay Foreman. I'm baffled by that decision, but I don't know. Once again, I kind of mentioned it in a rebuild recently where it was I wonder if, players think their value is higher than it is. They go to free agency. It's not higher. Either the original team doesn't offer that anymore. They don't have that on the board, or the player's just well, I've kind of, broken the ties a little bit. I'm moving on no matter what. But regardless, T. Higgins is worth, at minimum, a 2nd-round pick. So even that might be low end, which puts us at a best-case scenario of a 3rd-round pick. But we did land a damn near 90 overall wide receiver. So while that sucks, it is also, the way it is. All right, so I didn't scout anyone that was high at all because we have no draft picks like that. There's a bunch of day 4s and beyond. Day 3s and beyond. The freaking hell is day 4? But yeah, a bunch of guys that I'm hoping are there that are probably going to be going in the 4th+ rounds. And I will be able to tell right now. I think we had a tight end, we had a DT, we had a couple of different linemen, a couple of different edge rushers. Tight end is still there, which is nice. I did have a different guard who's gone now, sadly. What about the edge rushers? B. So there's he's not the greatest talent in the world. Caleb Long might be the most important position, but I think Alton Kelly is probably the best player. He's a really weird build, though. 6'4", 274, very athletic, so I'm going to grab him, Alton Kelly, and he, of course, has normal development traits. Super fun, but what can you do? And I kind of want to trade up for the DT just because I have no other options, whereas everyone else I'd be okay with losing because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't really need them, whereas I definitely need a DT. They also need a DT a little bit too. Like, who's our DTs? Like, we have Brown and that's it. Center Bozeman, they did offer him a pretty good deal, so it's like, I don't know. They do need center though, so whatever. 128 and Bozeman for 98. That would make him, what, like a 6th-round pick, which is like, we paid him. We're taking the dead hit. They basically get a free lineman for 2 more seasons. I think it's fair. Whatever. And then the DT, Caleb Long. He's a little raw, but what can you do? You know, 37 reps. He's the best DT by far that was there. B block shed, C power move, C finesse. We're going to grab him. And we're going to get a hidden dev player. Maybe not the best scheme fit here, but not bad. Definitely not bad. And then we're going to go to 16. Whoever's there is there. This, like I said, we really can't afford to trade up anything. So basically going to look for the youthful players at positions we need, simply put, if there's even anyone here. Corner, guard, and then wide receiver. What about this cornerback? Yeah, I think we're going to go with Luke Gibbs, the guard. Okay key ratings, but he is an undrafted projected player, so I don't know what we're going to get here. And yeah, very slow, decent strength, normal dev. But it's a 5th-round pick. What can you expect? I'm going to go to the 7th round, see if there's a wide receiver, if that guy's there or not. And if not, we're just going to, you know, live with another pretty bad draft. Obviously, the first draft is good, but, you know, not a lot of draft picks here. Next season, you know, we have no 2nd-round pick, so it doesn't get too much better from here, but it is still better, right? We get a 1st-round pick, and our wide receiver's gone. So that's going to be the draft class, I suppose. Here we go with a draft recap. 73, 70, 68. 73 overall tight end, Alton Kelly. I think he will start. I mean, we gotta start developing tight end, right? This guy's a 73. Hayden Hurst is only a 76. So there's a bit of an age difference as well. Put him at something decent, though. Give him a cool number, I guess. 84 is okay, I suppose. And then the DT, Caleb Long. I don't really care what his dev is because he's starting no matter what. He's not terrible. 75 block shed, 71 power move. What is bull rush expected? But yeah, not a good draft. Not a lot of depth here. But like I said, we get kind of back to normality after the Stroud trade, after this season. Yeah, it's not going to be the prettiest thing, especially since we traded up a little bit last season. Not that it really matters, but I'm kind of curious to see what, you know, if there was any decent overalls in this one. Highest overall was the 1st pick overall to the Texans, the right guard, Jeromepkr. He's 23, so I would have never drafted him. Power blocking sucks. Pass block in general isn't great. If he's not at least superstar, I don't know if that was still a good pick or not. Yeah, I mean, he's a high overall, but I don't know if I even see the overall. I got to take a look at him again. What's making him such a high overall here? 83 run block finesse, 92 impact, 86 lead block, I guess, but he's pretty bad. I don't know. I don't know. All right, Season 2, the year after the Super Bowl win. Not a whole lot has changed, except for the offense, of course. 94 overall Derrick Henry, 90 overall T. Higgins, and a brand new tight end who's huge with decent athleticism. Definitely wish I could have done more for the defense, but there really wasn't much more I can do. We got a younger, higher potential free safety in Cameron Dantzler now. We have a higher potential guy in Long. Clowney's a better right end, and then I suppose linebackers are the exact same. But technically the team got better, so in theory, if we were good enough to win it last year, we should technically be even better this year, especially on offense. I didn't really pay attention. I was just kind of going through the motions. We got a +4 deep and medium upgrade for CJ Stroud. Obviously, it must have been like a QB check-in or whatever. Not bad. 102 mil. We got 2 players we definitely want to keep, maybe 3-ish. Definitely want to keep the front 2, though. Derek Brown. See if we can get him on a 4-year 62. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. What about Corbett? 3-year 29. I mean, he's actually a pretty damn good player, so 3 or 31.5. Come on, we just won the Super Bowl, man. Give me a break. Another pretty damn good season. Good enough for a bye week like I was expecting. Derrick Henry leading the league in yards. Always worth it. Always worth it. Looking at the season, not great out the gate, and then just a bunch of wins in a row. Once again, not changing the scheme because this team is busted. They can't lose. Let's take a look at our quarterbacking from Stroud. Definitely a little bit better of a season. Rushing, obviously way better with Derrick Henry. Shenault was pretty good. Higgins was not worth the money. Kelly was all right. Thielen was okay. And then Derrick Henry just in general kind of had the best rushing season of all time. Running back season anyways. The center gave up the most sacks. Look at the tackles. 11 sacks combined allowed. That is really low for Madden. Clowney with 16 sacks. 14.5 for Brian Burns. 8.5 for Brown. This is a weird one, dude. Perfect kicking. This is a weird rebuild, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. Of course, where is he? Where's Derrick Henry? 2,500 yards total, and I mean, it is what it is. Offensive Player of the Year, obviously. No rookie awards. Best running back, obviously. And best DB, believe it or not. No D-line, but it is what it is. Maybe a couple of dev-ups with those moves, and I mean, I guess we just sim again. It worked out last time. Might as well do it again. Going against the Falcons, who are 9-8. They're kind of built to win, though, because they're 9-8. Yep, I just knew it. I don't know if we do this from now on, but it didn't really work out here. But it did the first season, 14-28. Lost by a lot, in fairness. Like, it was not just the score, but the yardage was like doubled, tripled, even. Not a great game for us. D-line was okay, in fairness, but not a great game. Chiefs lose another Super Bowl, this time to the Cowboys. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. Maybe Shenault, maybe Stroud. Neither. Not even Kelly went up in dev. Obviously, Derrick Henry couldn't go up any higher in dev. Defensively, her biggest star. Clowney didn't go to X Factor, which is surprising. Chin went to Superstar, which is nice. Don't usually see him going up in dev for me. I don't know why. I just never have luck with him. No zone coverage upgrade, which is sucky because he's only 82 zone. Got like a +2, +3 to zone coverage. That would have been huge, but still a really nice season. That disappointing. Super Bowl win into a bye week for the playoffs. No win in the playoffs, let alone Super Bowl again. Kind of unfortunate, but we'll do one more season. That's kind of cheese. 1 speed for Derrick Henry. He's 92 speed now. Try to get Clowney on a 1-year 14. He said no. Doesn't mean we aren't going to try again here in a moment. As far as trying to build a team for this upcoming season, which will be the final season, which is weird. It's just so weird of a rebuild. Maybe we do more than 3 seasons anyways, even though we won that 1 year one Super Bowl. We have a first-round pick. We did make the playoffs, so the draft pick's not going to be very good for us, but do we just... Kwity Paye is a free agent, but that's probably for good reason. He's probably not playing well. 8.5, 9.5, 8.5. That's not bad. It's definitely not where I'd want him to be, but at the same time, if he was any better, he'd probably be on their team still. So, I mean, I'll pay him. We need edge. We don't have a whole lot of draft capital. If I can get myself a brand new edge that's kind of young for that price, I'd do it. And Logan Wilson is interesting. Joke is also here, which is not bad. But his interest levels are so low that it would probably cost us a fortune to get him. We actually got him for a 4-year 60, which isn't bad. And for some reason, Kwity Paye is not joining yet. We were clearly giving him the best offer every time. So 2 huge positional needs for us filled in free agency, which still puts us at 52.5 mil anyways. All right, back in the draft. As far as what we actually need, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, actually. We've done a really good job of free agent signing, which I would imagine is going to cause us some problems. However, we do have that rookie quarterback contract, which is always nice. O-line, pretty much fine. Moton definitely will need to be replaced, so at least 1 lineman this season would not hurt. Kelly maybe gets replaced. There's a really nice tight end I see, but thing is, if he's not higher than normal, he's literally not going to start, so it's kind of a wasted pick. Thompson needs to be replaced. We need a new middle linebacker in general. So linebacker is definitely a huge focus. DT's kind of a focus. Corner wouldn't hurt, as Dante Jackson's going to be gone after this year as well. So, I don't know. Let's prepare for the future, I guess. No second-round pick kind of sucks, but We're going to be trading down here anyways, I believe. We're going to be trading with Detroit, getting 42 and 74 for 28. Then we're going to trade back to 49 and gain 113, which is a little high. 113 is not a great pick, in fairness, though. Hopefully Browning's still there, but at the same time, it's not like the absolute must-grab position, a.k.a. DT. But he does look pretty good in general. He is still there. Man, this is tough, though, because we actually don't really need that position. Whereas Brayton, very athletic linebacker, is very much so in need. A little raw, though. I don't know how good he is, but B blockshed, B pursuit, 21 years old, good athleticism is good enough for me. And glad I felt that way because he's hidden development trait. Decent speed, jumping's great, change of direction is so bad, though. And man, Browning looks good, but at the same time, like we said, the DT we got, he's, if this guy is not even hidden, our DT2 he can't be replaced by him. So it's like, do you just go to the next pick anyways? I think that's what we're going to do. And we talked about this same scenario, but with the tight end position, thing is, this guy is really good. He is 22, though, which worries him. 4.5, 340, the 20 yards great, the 3 cones great. He's a great-looking tight end, but once again, if he's only normal, he's not worth it. But elite speed, elite agility, I will say a marginal excel is a little iffy, but do we take the risk? I'm going to take him. And he is hidden, so that's a win. 84 excel. I mean, that's not really marginal in my opinion. 80 jumping. He's good. I was kind of thinking, like, even if he's just equal to our guy, he probably still starts because he has a chance at Rookie of the Year for 1. Doubt he would get it. And 2, he is more athletic, but at the same time, that was a risky pick. That was definitely a risky pick, but it worked out. And now the guy I've been looking at the whole time, Mike Woodard, 22 years old, is a little iffy, a little weak, but an A pass block, A awareness is good enough for me, and thankfully is hidden, because otherwise a low-strength, normal dev 22-year-old that's not even going to start right away is such a waste. We also talked about needing 2 linebackers. Do we go for Killings, who's 21 years old? Very athletic as well with the A-zone coverage? I think so. 124 and 156 gets the job done to 98 with the Broncos, who obviously didn't want to trade with the Saints. We're going to keep pick 17 in the 4th. And with this pick, we're going to be taking Killings. If Ward is still there, we'll probably end up taking him, but I also don't really feel like trading up for him. So if he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. Killings a little more athletic than the linebacker we just took, but he is normal dev. But he's 21 years old, so if we don't find a better linebacker option when likely Thompson's gone, then I suppose we at least have that option. But let us draft somebody here at 17. Likely could be a trade down. Ward is still there. I mean, I guess I'm willing to take him. 21 years old, a little raw, but all it takes is a hidden. And he's hidden, just like the last one. So wins all around. Not, the most influential draft in the world, but, planting the seeds of the future. I'm a farmer. And man, I just can't get a damn speed wide receiver to save my life. They're just always gone. There's one elite kick power kicker, Braxton Bush. That's going to be my choice. 97 kick power, very elite in fairness. Our kicker has been pretty damn good though, but, I had a pick in the 6th round. I took a damn kicker. What do you want? Probably should have taken a damn punter, to be fair. Let's see if there's any elite punters. Probably not. He's got solid kick power, but these are his key ratings. Like, holy crap. Jeez, that guy's good. Only halfway decent kicker punter is elite kick power at least, with a B accuracy. 23 years old. Thought maybe there was a chance he would have been a generational, but 2 really good kick power special teamers in the later portion of this draft. Not bad. Let's trade these 2 picks down and call it a draft. We have 50 mil in cap space, and this for our draft, 75 overall for the tight end as well, 74 for the guard, 72 for the kicker, 68 for the punter. Random linebacker I took wasn't, really mattering too much. Let's take a look at the zone and block shed and whatnot of our guys here. Where the hell is it, dude? It's all the way back here. 73 block shed, which is pretty good. Coverage is really bad though. Whereas Killings, very similar. Middle linebacker has that nod in that position, but not a bad little draft. How good was Guerrero, and what was his dev? 6'5", 88 speed. Excel, like I said, it's not the greatest, but it's okay. We have 2 good tight ends now, I suppose, and let's take a look at what his dev is. He could be a superstar. I've seen it. Haven't seen it here, but I've seen it on, other players. Here we go for the Season 3 team, maybe the final team. We'll see kind of how, we'll play by ear, how the season goes. Would have loved to see a little bit better wide receiver, development. Maybe put Chenault back in the slot, but This is what the team is going to look like. Simply put, offensive line is great. Quarterback is solid. Running back is amazing. Wide receiver 1 didn't play well, but he is a high overall. Tight end's new, but high potential with the size and the speed. Defense definitely has improved, but still the overalls are kind of mid. That year 1 Super Bowl made things weird, but at the same time, we competed last year, just didn't win this, playoff game, and if the same kind of thing happens here again, I'm still pretty satisfied, right? Like, it's still a win. We're not having as good of a year, let me tell you that much. JC Horn, we do like a 5-year 75, just knock that out, thank you. Just jump that money, stop, messing about. No one else really to pay, though. Like, I'm not saying we have the greatest linebacker situation going forward, but Rashaan Evans has been starter, not starter, starter, not starter. Shaq Thompson, he's just, at this point, he's going to be like a 79 overall by the season's end. Dante Jackson, another guy that's going to regress hard. DJ Turner probably isn't even the starter for him either, but at least he's got a little more potential, I suppose. That's why I kind of wanted Garrett Williams, because of the youth. And then Moton, I will say, I planned on letting him go, but if he's playing like he normally does, and he's not, I was going to give him a contract, but yeah, he had his worst year yet, so he's going to be gone. Losing some names, but you have $92 million to spend to fix it. If we win, I think we're in. Even if we lose, we might still be in, because last time we got to the Super Bowl at 8-9, and we are in at 9-8. The Falcons do win the division, though. Not a great season, but once again, Derrick Henry still up there in numbers. Wow! 21 touchdowns passing only. Yeah, this is... So if we were to do another season, if we don't win the Super Bowl here, I think you do need to change the scheme. Stroud is being wasted a bit here, and seasons are going worse. Look at the defense. Not going to change the defense, though. Defense is insane. The offense has gotten worse. So, yeah, if you're not going to win the Super Bowl with it, I think it may be time to change it up. But I suppose playoffs yet again, but 21 touchdowns only. That is so bad. Like, that is so bad. We got offensive and defensive players of the year awards. Best running back, best D-line, best DB. Really, number 7 for 5 interceptions. Usually it's way up there. But nice wins. Let's see it. Can we get back to the Super Bowl, or are we going to lose right out the gate with the Seahawks? I honestly have no idea what the plan is. I really don't. And we lose the first game back-to-back years after a Super Bowl victory. Yeah, it might have just been some beginner's luck, because I can't even get us even close to the Super Bowl by just simming. Kind of want to go back into the games and do that. Anthony Richardson is a Seahawk. Man, I don't know, dude. I really don't know what to think. Like, this is 3 seasons in. We got the Super Bowl year 1. Made the playoffs back-to-back years after. The team is it's rebuilt, but is it like a true competitor? What overall are we compared to the rest of the league? 89 overall. We usually finish around 90-ish, so there's not really much more you could do in that category. 89. I mean, it's a success. It's the highest overall team, or top tier. Yeah, I was about to say Chiefs might be higher overall, but second highest overall team in the league. I don't know what more we can do. Maybe a free agency's insane. We can maybe try to do another run, but if it's kind of weak for the positions we need, that might just be it. A Super Bowl year 1. Disappointing losses back-to-back seasons after, but still playoff nonetheless with the Panthers. And no Chiefs Super Bowl trip for the first time in a while here, which is nice to see. And it is a Ravens win, so new team at least. A lot of money to spend. Any dev ups? Higgins didn't go up in dev, sadly. Stroud obviously wouldn't have went up in dev. He had a really bad season. Defensively, Horn went up in dev, which is pretty nice. Who we just paid, obviously, a 5-year 75. Quiddy Pay, he had a good season, right? It was like 10+, so good contract there, obviously. 11 sacks, so finally got to double digits, which is nice. And, yeah, I mean, no other dev up. So if there's a cornerback and a linebacker in free agency, if they're, like, decent names, maybe we give them one more season. We'll see. Our tackle is also really solid still. If he does a 1-year 18, I'd take it. A 1-year 18, I mean, he's an 87 overall. What can I do? Got to keep him. Everyone else, though, is gone. What about the kicker, actually? I don't know how much he regressed, if any. Didn't regress, so if he still played well, which I'm pretty sure he did, right? Worst season with us, but still 80% is good. I've seen a lot worse than that. We'll give him another year as well. Try to keep that Super Bowl team intact as much as possible. So 97 mil. I will say that, some of these rookie contracts are coming up here a little bit, but I'd still be comfortable signing at least 2 players. If there's no one at those positions like we talked about, though, that's probably going to be it for us, especially with these ensuing contracts. So Moton obviously would be gone. Aquani, you got to pay. Henry, probably have to pay. I wouldn't let him go. Stroud's going to ask for like 40 plus, but I suppose you give him the 5th year. Dante's gone. Hayden's gone. Rashawn's gone. if we can get a wide receiver as well, it would be nice, but let's see who's in there. DJ Moore, ironically enough. Juju Smith-Schuster's a superstar. There are some corners, but there's no linebackers. Cornerback only. I suppose McDuffie is pretty good. We'll try to get McDuffie. I don't know if we're going to get either of them, though, because they're both red interests. A 4-year 70 is a lot, actually. A 4-year 65. So we probably would get McDuffie, actually. Best linebacker would be Holcomb, but I don't think he's worth it. I suppose Devin Lloyd, what is he looking like? 76 block shed's good. 75 zone. He's actually a pretty good player. Would you not just work with the rookies, though? Yeah, we got Lockett and Devin Lloyd. A little expensive for Devin Lloyd, a 4-year 36. Lockett's expensive, too, but it's a 2-year 28. With McDuffie still being highest bid on us. I suppose with these additions, we'll try one more season, and then no matter what, we're done. So I skipped the draft. Well, I didn't skip it. I did the draft, but I didn't show it because it kind of, a bunch of trades here and there, and more importantly, it was a bunch of guys that just aren't going to start right away, so it's kind of pointless. But we ended up with a 6'4" hidden corner. I see 6'4", 1-2. I know he's going to be decent, and that's exactly what happens here. We now have like 4 starting caliber corners. Of course, star development trait, you see it all the time. Center, a little disappointed with this one. Normal development trait. He looked solid. So solid, but ironically enough, I was going to build him to play left tackle or right tackle anyways for Moton. Not going to happen. Don't know what my obsession with linebackers is in this one, but gotta admit, this wasn't the greatest pick, even though he's hidden. He's a super low overall, and he's 22 years old. He just looked good, and he was there, and I was like, why not? Now, I didn't think about his dev, so if he was actually superstar, then it wouldn't have been. This guy, another 22-year-old, decently fast. Not bad by any means. However, I found another wide receiver that's even faster a little bit later in Mr. DJ Rainey. 97 speed, 98 excel, a little more raw, but way more speed. And then Macklin, very fast running back that I found, hidden. He was like an undrafted projected. I seen his speed, and I was like, with that speed and that size, he might be a fast power back, which kind of-ish, not really, but it's got dual style, I suppose, and he's star dev, so not the best draft, not the worst draft. It was supposed to be kind of like a preparing for the future type of draft, which didn't really do a whole great job with that because O-line is probably the biggest thing we need to worry about, and there was a DT that went literally 1 pick before me to the Chiefs. I actually kind of want to see how good he was real quick. 73 overall. Of course, hidden, 21 years old, 78 finesse, 71 block shed, 90 strength. All the players that kind of like him were all like really weak, and I was like, maybe they're good, but I'm not going to risk it. Star dev, that definitely would have been a good pick, and kind of someone we need to worry about in the future. Not really, to be fair. Another position that we're kind of set on. So, going to do this final season. I'm going to pay attention to the playbook scheme. If things aren't going super well early, Stroud might just be a casualty to the scheme because, hey, we're winning, but not winning in the playoffs. So, I don't know, but definitely a better team. We added a lot in free agency. Let's see if it's enough. Get us back to the Super Bowl. So, I was going to put Ward at right tackle. Then I realized Woodard is superstar. Did we know that? I don't think we checked that. How is he superstar? What got him to superstar? DJ Turner's also star, which is pretty cool. He actually got a dev up last season. I guess Woodard would be the future starter at right tackle. This team is far from bad. This is a good team with a great future. Stroud has his 5th-year option. Everything's great right now. I also did add Nick Cross on like a 3-year 10, I believe, and I added, was it Hubbard back again? Hubbard on a 3-year 10 as well, but Macklin would probably be the number 2 here. It's just wanted someone familiar, and ultimately he was the most interested, so it obviously cost us less to get him. This is the best team we've had since the start of this rebuild, so if this is at least a playoff season, that is pretty stupid. As far as anything beyond that, you can't really expect it, but I kind of would. All right, we realign the roster for the final season. We finally have a true number 2 wide receiver. Everything else is pretty much intact, though. We do have more depth than usual, though, right? Like, we have 4 average to well above average wide receivers with 2 speedsters on, behind. The 2 tight ends are obviously a top 2, well, not top 2, but a top 10 duo. O-line's obviously solid with great backups in between. Quarterback backup is now Drew Lock, which is okay. Defensively, edge, Granderson is a pretty damn good player. He's like 80 finesse, 78 block shed. Number 2 corner is amazing, even though he's probably the number 1. We have Turner, who's a great number 3. Huff should be a good number 2, but right now he's not going to play starter. Safeties are pretty decent with Huff and Cross being backup. Linebackers deepest in the league. DT backup is probably the only bad position we have. We even have a good backup kicker. That's how ready we are. But I will say the punter worries me a little bit. But a lot of potential with, 77 accuracy, 96 kick power. We're on a bit of a slide. 3 straight losses after a really good start to the season. Derrick Henry wants a 2-year $16. I know running back contracts aren't great right now, but holy, talk about a cheap one. Aquanu's been really good for us, and obviously he's a superstar. You don't let superstar linemen go. A 6-year 138. Man. Steve Avila is asking for a ton. Steen isn't asking for that much. I think if you want to keep a really good team intact, though, you kind of have to let linemen go, right? Like, you can't pay everyone, obviously. Steen is in a decently cheap deal, a 4-year 44. He's interested, whereas Avila is already a 2-year 30. That's 15 mil per for a guard who's really good, in fairness, but I think you have to let him go unless his interest, improves. Herbig, not bad, actually. Pretty cheap, so you can afford him. 4-year 26 is super cheap. 27 mil left, though, and we still have to pay Stroud next season. But, like we said, you are going to lose a guy like Lockett soon enough, so don't have to really worry about keeping him around. Turner, his contract's so cheap, you might as well. It's kind of similar to Nick Cross. A 4-year 16 is a steal for his talents. No way he takes that in real life. But I think you let Avila and Moten go, and then you pay your superstar Aquanu. Call me crazy, but I don't think I'm going to take a look at that quarterback breakout. 45 to 7. I suppose you can get it from yards, can't you? So I might as well actually take a look just in case. But 45 to 7? Yeah, it needs to be played better. I think the defense needs to play better, though. 45 points. All right, headed to the wildcard round, which we are in, but we will have to play a game to proceed. We did beat the Niners, and we have to face them now. Buccaneers at 6-11, Falcons at 5-12. The Saints were actually like 7-0 or 8-0, and then their season finished as followed. But we're in the playoffs. Obviously, that's a good goal. 15-2. Wow, that is pretty good, actually. That's obviously the goal of ours. To win a Super Bowl again would be even better, though. Especially since you can kind of argue the first one was a fluke. However, we have been to the playoffs every single season since, despite some weak seasons, I will admit. Didn't change the playbooks or anything like that. Stroud back to decent. Henry's still really good. Not as good, but really good. Lockett just over 1,000 yards. Higgins at 1,200. Chenault was decent. Guerrero was 690 and 7 touchdowns. And Derrick Henry. I mean, if you want to dev up for your guy, this playbook is up there for it. Definitely up there for it. Some pretty good, blocking numbers. Speaking of the other side of things, 20 sacks for Burns, 9.5 for Pay, 6 for Brown, and then Long we don't talk about. Did he even play? Like, what kind of scheme are we in? 694. Like, is this a 3-4? Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't understand what's going on, but interceptions were super low. Kicking, yeah, Gonzalez is gone after the season. Chapman really wasn't that great either. Kick return, punt return game was weak. Any award wins? Derrick Henry probably, right? Was Henry ever, like... Is he ever going to be on the list, though? Like, he's being disrespected. Gets Offensive Player of the Year, but that's about it. Burns got beat by Bosa. He must have had, like, 21-plus then. It's insane. Rookie awards, no. Running back didn't even win the best award there, but it is what it is. Was that the Rams at 1-16? Holy, that is not good. But I'm actually going to go in because if there's a situation where we have to play... or we're just getting smoked, I kind of want to just come in and, try the offense out. It'd be a lot of fun having an offense with Stroud, Lockett, Higgins, and then obviously Henry. That's 6 tight end. Oops, wrong thing. I was going to skip it just so I can, play, and I was like, wait, that's not the point of this. Up by 7 against the Niners, who we just beat, like we said. Really good drive, but no score. 14-0. Defense is doing really well. Offense giving up the ball there. 14-0 still, near in the fourth. Shutout is still in. Shutout is still very much so real. And finally, the Niners come alive, but 24-6, not going to be able to play in this one as we're moving on to the divisional round with ease. Brock Purdy, the quarterback there. Stroud, not great. Henry, not great. Defense just kind of carried this one as Burns had 5 sacks. Wow. Okay, they had 2 interceptions. We had none. It's like not throw interceptions, especially when we don't need to throw the ball since we're winning because the defense is locked down. Divisional round against the Saints. Who would have thought? 85 overall. I don't remember if we actually beat them. I know we lost 1 game, but I don't know if we won any of the games against them. All right, going to the end of the game. Saints already almost beating the Niners total on the first drive. 7-3, 10-3, and there they go. 10 all, 17-10. You knew it was going to be a little bit better of a game since it was a division rivalry. Nice field goal before the halftime, as that could be huge. As we're up by 10 now because of that. Only up by 3 because of it. And up by 10 again. That little, I don't know if it was a turnover or what it was, but the Saints kind of chasing the game ever since because of it. Will lose as we're moving on to the championship round. Stroud, 2 touchdowns, 272 yards, no interceptions. Derrick Henry was pretty damn good. 9 was his longest, yet he put over 100 yards. That means he was just grinding all day long like a grandma at the strip club. I don't know what that means here. Sack totals were weak. J.C. Horn with an interception. Kicking was perfect. And it's the Commanders in the championship round. Don't want to get too overconfident, but man, I like our chances. I can say that at least without feeling too bad about it. See if we're going to be back in the Super Bowl going against the Raiders, who we actually did, I believe, stopped our slide on, who was actually having a really good season at the time, and they started to slide a little bit. So let's see if we can get there and maybe beat them for a second time. I don't know. 7-3. Second quarter, Washington giving it to us here a little bit. 17-3, 17-10. Come on, offense. Defense is doing its job. Offense needs to get more points, and they're doing just that. Up by 7. A score here would win it. And the defense locking up in the second half. You get a nice walk-off touchdown, but it's not going to mean anything. And we're headed to the Super Bowl for the first time since the first season. Rookie quarterback kind of gave it to us a little bit there, though, but Stroud much better than that wild card round. Henry wasn't great. Hubbard had a nice little game at least. Derrick Henry went off in the receiving game though at least. Sack totals were super, maybe not super tame, but no big sack games like we seen the 5 from Burns. Chin with an interception. Kicking was perfect yet again, both sides. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. Maybe Stroud finally got one. I don't think he would have though. It's still kind of a tame season as far as like Madden sim stats go. Maybe though. Maybe. Lockett. Definitely not. Higgins didn't even go up in dev. Kind of getting unlucky in that one at least. Defensively, nobody went up in dev, so no dev ups at all. I mean, obviously the overalls would have went up, but kind of a lost season as far as like progression goes if you don't win the Super Bowl, but obviously getting to the Super Bowl is great. 90 to their 86. They got all their, kind of key guys in place still. Let's see what happens. Here it is, the Raiders scoring nicely with 7 on the first drive. We finally get 7 to, counter it. Nice stop at the 1, was that? Considering we're not scoring much, that was a huge stop. 14-7, 14 all. I don't know if I like the way this is going. 21-14, and we've won another Super Bowl. I'm glad we did another year just for the doubters that may have existed. Like, oh, you want a Super Bowl year 1, couldn't do it after. Clearly, the team wasn't that ready early on. Just luck. But here we are, winning a real Super Bowl, if you will. Obviously, we did add a couple of free agents in there, but still a lot of youthful players, Herbig was the starting middle linebacker in this one, and, Derek Brown and Burns and Horn and Turner and Chin. A new name of Dantzler, a free safety, was kind of cool. Wide receivers did change up quite a bit. Tight end we did draft at least. Offensive line, kept the tackles intact, but everyone else we drafted. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job, and obviously we left just enough money to re-sign Stroud. Everything else doesn't matter, right? You have enough to lock up your franchise quarterback. You figure everything else later. That's literally how it goes. So, I mean, that's a hell of a season, hell of a rebuild. Like I said, I don't know if I'd really care to say that, I'm glad we waited. It didn't really matter too much, but yeah, 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. Not bad, obviously. Panthers fans would love it. The amount of apologies that would need to go around would be quite a bit. Derrick Henry carrying this team quite a bit, but at the same time, even though Hubbard's yards per carry weren't great, he was still putting up 600 receiving, 1,000 rushing, we just needed somebody that can, like, carry the ball. Like I said, it would have been nice to get, I'm not even trolling, like a Christian McCaffrey or a Kamara or something like that, but Derrick Henry handled it just as well, all the same, in fairness. But let's take a look at the team before we head out of here on this one. Like I said, super successful rebuild, so glad to see it. Stroud never got past star, though, which is super unfortunate, but 99 medium, 98 short, 97 deep, 91 throw power. Obviously great, and great quarterback. Obviously worked out for us. Derrick Henry, I'm kind of curious his stats anyways, even though, or his ratings, if you will. 92 speed, 95 truck, 99 stiff arm. Pretty good. Some would say pretty decent. Pretty decent player. Higgins, we didn't really develop him, but he's a 95 overall, so I'm curious to see what he's weak at. Deep route with that 90 speed, do you really care too much? Just run a straight, I mean, like, what are you going to waver on a straight line? Why the hell am I looking at Lockett? But here we are, there's Lockett if you wanted to see him. He's come and gone very quickly. Chenault, I guess, he's a guy that, does have the potential to be that guy in real life, similar to Terrace Marshall, but didn't really happen for us. It's just the way it goes in Madden. Youth, age, that kind of stuff. Youth, age, yeah. Youth, dev, starting point in general, super impactful stuff, and if you can't get a dev up early with those kind of things that are in the negative side, it's not really going to go well for you, right? We are going to keep Aquana, whether it be a tag, whatever. Outside of pass block finesse, he's actually very good. Not sure how the hell that happens. How do you get everything really good but one rating? I don't know how that works. Avila, obviously, his finesse blocking sucks, but his power blocking is amazing. Unless he became super interested, he would be gone. Steen kind of was the guy that we kept because of his interest, but I will admit, finesse blocking with the pass blocking, very iffy, so you definitely want to keep him on the inside of things. Corbett's an 87 overall now, which is pretty awesome. 30 years old, he's not really going to get much better than that, though. Let's take a look at the tight end, as we didn't really get that tight end position solved too quickly, but here's Guerrero in his second year for the team, 89 catching, 85 catching traffic. Really good short, medium, and awful deep. But obviously super athletic. You can get around that any day of the week. Also got a 1 to his acceleration, which is pretty cool. Don't really care about Joe because he's always really good, and we didn't really develop him too much. Herbig, 96 tackling, 90 block shed, 75 zone coverage. Speed's not great, but he's pretty beastly, actually. He's actually really good. I mean, bring him on the runs, and that's going to be a stop every day of the week. Chin, 90 overall, getting him a superstar dev. Kind of early-ish was nice. 87 zone coverage, just good enough, I'd say. Super athletic, obviously. And then back to, I hate when you have to hit right bumper to check. Dancer, that was, like I said, a fun new player to put at safety, free safety. 92 zone, still slow as hell, which is why I wouldn't say got the idea. It's not like the most original thing ever, put a slow player in the safety spot. But that's kind of the main reason why we decided to go that route. Quitty Pay, 85 power move, 78 block shed. He's played pretty well for us, but man, that power move is not really moving a whole lot, is it? It's not moving a whole lot at all. Burns, the 99 overall, putting up 20 sacks in a season. What a dude. 99 finesse, 79 block shed, insane speed. 90 speed, 96 excel. Like, that is like a DB. Like, how is that even possible? He's like, what, 6'5"? 6'5", 249, 90 speed, 96 excel. Okay, if you say so. Derek Brown, 91 overall. I imagine his power move sucks, which it actually doesn't. 87 power move, 94 block shed's actually really good. I will say he did have a camp standout one of the seasons, so that's like a +3 to power move, which definitely helps. JC Horn, 89 overall, actually. Decently balanced. Normally you see it's one or the other, but 91 man, 84 zone is a lot closer than we're normally used to seeing. And then the final player I kind of want to look at is Mr. Trent McDuffie. 84 zone, 94 man, a little bit slower, a little bit smaller, I believe, right? Like an inch or so than JC Horn. So, very good duo. I mean, this is a really good team, and as far as who you're losing, a lineman or two, not the end of the world. This could be technically one of the better teams we've rebuilt, especially the starting point consideration. But that's going to be it. 2 Super Bowl wins in 4 years. Maybe, like I said, argue the first year was a fluke, but can't argue this one. We got it done, and let me tell you, when you get a really good running back, this Panthers scheme may be the secret formula. Just saying. I don't know. I feel like if I were to do another Vikings rebuild, I kind of want to put it on this and, let Kirk's average numbers fly with Cook just carry it. I don't know, but that's going to be it for this one. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel. Maybe let me know in the comment section below what team you'd like to see next, what you liked or didn't like about this rebuild. You're like, oh, there's no way they go DJ Turner, whatever it may be. I'll be here for it. I got to definitely catch up on some comments. Been making so many videos, especially longer ones like rebuilds, where I've just been focusing on that and just not even paying attention to too much of the replying and, process, which I know a lot of people usually don't, but I like to, so I kind of want to keep to it. Definitely want to get back to that. And yeah, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays for non-Madden content, which has been Hogwarts Legacy lately, which should be another episode tomorrow. And then after that, probably some actual franchise videos where we're actually playing the games for once. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!